everybody? We are back. It is Safe to Launch Favorites Podcast, Favorites Channel, Favorites Everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the March on NFL for me, at mholder95 for Matt, and of course pandasubs.com. Discount code is now 25% off. I gotta change that. 25% off for discount code for pandasubs.com now. Sorry, discount code TDL. 25%. All right. Matt, we're doing some more back to the draft. We're back to the draft. We're going to look at Dillion Gabriel and Devin Neal. So, people are probably like wondering, we have done defense a little bit. We have some defense, but
I got Bossa in there, and did I do someone else? Oh, you Princely.
Yeah, Princely.
Yeah, we got some defense. We'll get some more guys in there, but yeah, we're back to the draft and back to the Senior Bowl, Senior Bowl guys.
Exactly. You stayed at the Senior Bowl vibe here. So we're gonna be going over Devin Neal and Dillion Gabriel today, doing a deep dive into that. We had our mock draft last night. It's pretty good. It worked out pretty well, man. I didn't have any people. Some people were upset. Some people were upset over the picks.
It's not a good mock draft unless there's at least like half the people upset about it.
So I took Sanders, Tyleek,
Tyleek Williams.
Yeah, from
Ohio State.
Yeah, I took him, and then I took Devin Neal, and I took Azare Thomas, and then Glenn took Will Johnson. He took Demetrius Knight. And then he took Henderson and Howard from Ohio State. So,
okay, gotcha. Okay, get the Ohio State connection, get the Chip Kelly connection there.
Yeah. It wasn't too bad. I thought I would be happy with those drafts. So let me ask you before we get to these guys about Williams, because I did read your scatter report, and I agree with it because I watched some of his films, so I didn't sound like an idiot after I picked him. So, so. What are your thoughts on him? Because he is a guy that's he's listed at 327. So I just want your thoughts on him.
I don't know if I don't know if he's necessarily like a great like nose tackle type of guy that they might think. Like I think he's probably a little bit more of a 3 technique. But I tell you what, he's like one of those dudes where like you'll see the flashes of him where like obviously you have the strength at 320. He's pretty quick too. Like he moves pretty well. Like there's a lot of defensive tackles in this class like that. Like this class, the more I watch them, the more I fall in love with it. And he's definitely up there as like that second round target. But yeah, a guy with good movement skills is quick that can contribute in both phases of the game. The one thing I have noticed about him, I don't know if you'd watch this too on film, like he'd have spurts where like for a drive he'd just be dominant, and then like if you weren't like watching him, like you wouldn't know he was on the field, like where he just kind of like disappear in the games. And not that he was necessarily like getting his ass kicked or anything like that. Not like a Deion Walker where like you notice him in the other direction.
Yeah.
But just kind of like disappeared and like didn't really show up. And it was just kind of like this weird eval where that's what kept him out of potentially being like a first rounder guy, like a guy like a Walter Nolan or a Mason Graham, and maybe even like a Derek Harmon, where like those dudes bring it like for all 4 quarters and like you make you pay attention. Whereas like Tyleek it's just a consistency issue. Like it seems like maybe it's a little tired, his pads start rising a little bit and stuff like that. And then it's more like spurts rather than like a full game. But again, I do as traits that you want, and maybe you can get him in the conditioning, maybe get him to lean out a little bit because he's kind of have like a bigger belly, a little bit, maybe carry a little bit of bad weight to help him out a little bit. Not to pick on him, but
yeah.
I like fat shaming somebody at 9 a.m. That's my goal here
in the morning, right?
Hey. Yeah, first thing I do.
Right after you came back from the gym.
Yeah, exactly.
But because I noticed that like he just stands straight up sometimes, and I was like, he's like literally just standing straight up. And I'm like, bro, I don't know, that might be laziness too. I hate
that's one of my concerns with him. But again, like if you feel like you can like kind of get him in a little bit better shape, maybe even playing in a situation like the Raiders where like his first few years with Wilkins, like it's more of a rotation and stuff like that, and you're running through guys, like that could be a better situation for him. But yeah.
All right. Nothing really else happening in Raiders news, so let's just get right into it. Let's talk about these guys. So Devin Neal, Dillion Gabriel. Give your thoughts on Dillion Gabriel.
Yeah, so I think with Gabriel, the obvious is the physical limitations. If at the Senior Bowl, he measured in at 5'10 and a half, and he doesn't do himself any favors with with the whole short quarterback narrative of him getting passes bad at the line of scrimmage. Like I think PFF credited him with 9, and like the few games I watched, I swear to God, I saw like 4 or 5 of them. I don't know if I just caught the ones, but like it was pretty clear like there that he's going to have that issue in the NFL where he's going to have to get the ball up and obviously being able to see the middle of the field. And then the arm strength too. Like we'll see even on some of these like plays that I think are pretty good from him. Like when he does get it down the field, he's got to get everything into it. Like he's got full follow through, like the leg swinging and all of his might into it. And a lot of the times, the way he wins on deep throws is through anticipation. Now, to transition to what he's good at, one thing I think he's really good at, might be the best at it in this class, is throwing with anticipation. Like we'll see where he throws it before guys are out of breaks. And I think that's part of where you can see like, oh yeah, this guy was a 6-year starter in college. And I think where his experience really shines through. And on top of that too, like he reads the field pretty well. Like when you change the picture on him in coverage, like he's just perfect. He adjusts, he hits the holes in zone, has good timing on a lot of throws, which again is tied back to his anticipation. And he's accurate too. He had a bunch of throws where he did a pretty good job leading guys and getting some yards after the catch, and like doesn't miss throws very often. So that's one of the other part of it too. And then the athleticism too. He can run the ball. He can tote the rock a little bit. So when we're talking about Chip Kelly's offense, one thing I know you pointed out too was anticipation was huge. Obviously, any defense and any NFL offense reading the field's going to be good. And then on top of it, with Chip Kelly being able to run the ball, the biggest question is, can he push it down the field to really take advantage of those levels concepts? But again, when he throws with the anticipation, he can throw it deep. It's just he's got to see it right away. Otherwise, you're kind of screwed. And I wonder a little bit of if that'll be a bigger issue in the NFL.
Yeah, especially having the arm limitation, right? You got to be able to see it really early and be able to make those throws. And then sometimes some guys over anticipate things, right? Like when they're trying to make up for it, and they start throwing interceptions and stuff like that because the receiver's not out of his break yet, and you throw it way too early. And those things can start happening too. You can start throwing interceptions that way. Like those things happen with these type of quarterbacks, especially when they have the weaker arms. I mean, because a good example is Nick Mullins. Every time I watch Nick Mullins, I'm like, man, if he had an arm, if he had an arm, he'd be a pretty good quarterback. But when you don't have the arm, you start over anticipating things and trying to throw things too early.
Yeah.
And then when you throw the ball too early, it doesn't work out for you. But yeah, I mean, Gabriel had a good week at the Senior Bowl, though. I thought he looked clean. He looked like one of the better quarterbacks there. So it's just, where he's going to go, where you draft him is going to be the type of thing. But I do think he'll end up getting drafted. I don't see him being an undrafted guy because I think like at the Senior Bowl and some of the things he showed, yeah, he'll get drafted somewhere. It's just, where do you take him at? This kind of thing. Yeah. For sure. Devin Neal. So Devin Neal, I think is a really explosive running back. Definitely is a make and miss running back. He's one of those type of guys. I mean, he forces a lot of missed tackles. He had 46 on the season with 16 touchdowns, average 5.8 yards per carry. There's a lot of effective things with him. I think his vision is, how do I want to say this? Like, it's good, but then it's like iffy sometimes. It's not like consistent, I would say. I'm gonna show a couple plays where I kind of felt like that he maybe could have went somewhere else. Like it's not bad what he did, but the actual running play should have stayed where it's at. So a little bit of freelancing with him sometimes, I think, and that could be a little however you feel about that. That's a coaching thing. Coaches that might. Coach might want to rip his hair out seeing it, but if it works, it works, right? And he is a good pass catcher, though. Kansas didn't throw him the ball. He only had 26 catches on the year, so they didn't really throw him the ball. At the Senior Bowl, we saw him run a lot of great routes, and there's a couple times, he got these swing passes, and he would just make plays out of it. Or I'm gonna show like the one time I did see him run a route, how he got open, he didn't get the ball, but he does get open there. So I think with Neal, there's a lot of upside with him, a lot of explosiveness, a lot of big plays. And if he actually has somebody that finds a way to use him in the passing game, like on some H choices and maybe, especially Chip Kelly, his patented mesh wheel or the rail concept, right? Yeah. That is something that, you have Devin Neal, that becomes a part of it. That becomes a big play for you because he can get downfield and he can catch the football. He has great hands. I don't think he had a drop at the Senior Bowl. He was catching everything at the Senior Bowl and showed that he can run all those routes. So that's the upside of him to me. And he blocks pretty well too. I'm sure some times where he gets a little hesitant, but he's a pretty good blocker too. He's not bad. Not bad. So, but yeah, it is somebody that like in the third round that I would like the Raiders to look into. It'd be, be one of my wishes. It's kind of look into him in that area. But I don't know where he might fall. He might fall further than that, but I don't think so based on if he has a good combine, right, and he shows a lot of speed and things like that at 220 pounds because he's 5'10", 220. So he's a big.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how big is he? Because he doesn't look that big, but 5'10", 220, that's some good thickness, especially if he can move the way he did at Kansas. Just that'd be impressive. And if he ends up having a good combine, that's good size. But I thought he was a little bit smaller just by eyeballing him on the TV. So
yeah,
that's a good frame for a running back.
And he didn't look that big at the Senior Bowl either, but I looked at the Senior Bowl waitlisting, and that's what he was. He's 5'10". I was like, really?
He carries it well.
I guess so, man. He must be rocked, bro. He's
got like one of those wrestler 8-packs.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
like
he only eats veggies,
yeah.
bro. He's on the TB12 diet over there.
There we go.
That's the veggies over there for Devin Neal at lean T20 at 5'10", man. Because he does not look that big, and yeah. But when you watch him run, he runs with a lot of power, so it makes sense.
That's nice.
All right, let's see. All right, start off with some Devin Neal here. So start off with this counter run here, and this run is a great example of what I mean by him kind of just freelancing. So you're gonna see these two guards here, or not the guards, it's a tackle and a guard, or is that a tight end? No, it's a tight end, my bad. So it's a tight end and this guard right here. They're gonna be running counter here, right? They're pulling, and 10 is kind of, he's trying to play the the mesh point of the zone read, right? He's basically going right at Jalen Daniels there, right? But you see where Neal's eyes are. I mean, this is counter. I mean, he's supposed to be going this way, right? But you see where his eyes are. But you see the vision. I see it, right? This is what he sees, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if he goes this way, you see it's just these big dudes and like these corners over here, and he could make a big play. But he decides to go this way, right? And I see what he sees, but it's just what I talk about him just freelancing a little bit. You don't get the same yardage. I mean, you got like 3 or 4 yards instead of how big that play is, right?
Yeah, I'm pissed off at him if I'm that right guard or that right tackle, because he's not looking to block 22.
Exactly. Right.
Inside zone eyes on counter.
It's like I watched this. Like, did he think it was the wrong play? Like, what was he? But that's what I mean. Like, I'm gonna show another play where this kind of happens, but it's a little bit of freelancing here because he just follow this, right? I mean, you follow that. It's a big play. But yeah. All right. So here another run here. So this one, you're getting a little. It looks like you have to help me out here, man, because you got this guy. He's coming inside, so he's like wrapping around. It looks like just power here, right?
Yeah, I guess power with a full block. I don't know. What the fuck?
Yeah, Kansas is wild, bro. They're wild. Somebody needs to hire their offensive coordinator because that dude is good. He be doing shit. I'd be like, what the hell is that? So on this run play, because it looks like he has zone eyes, right? He's doing inside zone.
Yeah.
But he does a great job at setting up 45. So I'll go back here instead of trying to figure out what this dude's calling. So you see a 45 is kind of following this guard a little bit. You kind of can see where Neal's eyes are. And as soon as that guy commits over here, he takes the other way. He's right there, busting through the lane. So that's why I said like it's a little bit of freelancing too, but it is but he has good vision, but it's weird sometimes. But this is great. This is exactly what you want from a running back. Set up the linebacker, get to the second level, get some yards there. All right, so this one we're getting outside zone on this one, right? So you got those cut blocks on the backside, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see those cut blocks right there. You got cut blocks on the backside. Now, when you get here, right? Because I there is a lane here, so I see I see what he's trying to do, right? But the cutback lane is there too as well. So like, I mean, I know they get coached to kind of press this first, but it's like wow, right there. But okay, we got to watch this whole run. So there is a hole there. So you can't be mad at him about it, right? Because it is a hole there. But there's more space here. So you get the one-on-one here with Shiloh Sanders. This is what we talk about. He's 220 pounds because he just drags Sanders for about, what was that, like 10 yards? So where does he get tackled here? So he gets tackled at the 15. Shiloh Sanders makes that tackle on him, and he drags him to like about the 3. So that's where you see that he's 220 pounds there. So, this is what I'm talking about. Like it's a little bit inconsistent there, but boom, I'm still dragging you. You ain't gonna be able to tackle me, Shiloh. You know what I mean? He just dominated against Colorado. All right, so look at some of these runs, just kind of showing his elusiveness, his build, his make you miss ability here. So on this run, they're doing the fold again. It looks like I said, it looks like it's inside zone, but then you got the a kind of a fold block, like wham block coming from 47, right? But nobody blocks this guy. Okay, so this play is based. It looks like it's dead, right? I mean, nobody's blocking this linebacker. This play looks like it's dead. But Devin Neal just makes a miss right away, right? So he makes a miss. This guy's on the ground. Then Neal, like I said, this is what I talk about his vision, right? Because you see here, he sees this lane open up, and you can see his head look that way, and he's able to just turn up and get and burst right there, and then do another dead leg, freeze this corner, right? Yeah, I think it's not Travis Hunter, but
No, it's 0-8.
yeah. But this is what I'm talking about. This is why he is a playmaker. This is the type of guy that can just make plays in open field. I mean, to be honest, like the more I watched it, the more he reminded me of Josh Jacobs, because a
Okay.
little faster. Just because, like, Josh Jacobs sometimes just freelance sometimes, and then also Josh Jacobs could do things like this, which is make a guy miss in the backfield, unblocked. I remember arguing with people about how the run blocking wasn't that good that year, but he had 1,600 yards, and people were like, "Well, whatever it is." It was more because Josh Jacobs was doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
Dead leg upfield. Shiloh had like 15 tackles this game, I bet. All right, here's another one. Another one with a free runner here. So this time, like I said, we're getting inside zone. They do that little wrap thing again, but we're getting inside zone here. I'm just say I'm guessing here because he's going to the weak side here, and he has got another free guy. There's another free guy right there, and he just stiff arms him, goes around him. Great balance, keeps his balance there, and gets about 10 yards there. So, it's like I said, you can see that he is very elusive. He makes guys miss when he needs to. He's hard to bring down. Just I'm saying, at this point, Shiloh didn't want any. See, watch Shiloh. He didn't want any at this point. He's like, I'm done. He's like, no, you ain't gonna get me this time. All right, here's another run here. Now this one is counter, and he actually follows it. See, this is what I'm talking about. So he got counter here. He's actually falling at this time, and he shows great patience on this run. So see how he's letting these blocks develop. He's kind of pacing it. He lets 47 get up to this safety here, and then he's going to cut back inside, and he's going to take it to the house.
The burst too is pretty impressive. The way he can go from like 0 to 60 so quickly.
Mm-hmm. Acceleration. So right, something set it up, boom, get inside. He's gone. It's 220 pounds, guys. That's what's the craziest part for me after watching this.
Ooh.
So yeah, here's another run here. Like I said, another free guy here. Which this is I don't know what 61 is doing here. I don't know what this dude. This is I guess does he trip? I think he trips here. Yeah, he tripped. But so it's kind of like a split zone, like it's basically kind of what Chip Kelly was doing, and that's what Chip Kelly was doing.
Yeah, pretty similar. A lot of inside zone stuff.
Yeah,
but inside split zone.
Yeah, it's with like the alignment right here, the guy aligned right there.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, somebody should hire this Kansas guy, man. He be cooking, bro. I don't know. So, but you see again, right? There's another free guy, and there's Devin Neal just shaking him. This dude, he's completely whiffed on Devin Neal. And then Neal gets to the second level. He's not easy to take down. Basically breaks through that tackle. So Shiloh Sanders had a rough day. He was just I'm sorry. I'm laughing out. Shiloh just got his ass kicked this game. So boom. He's running through guys. This is why I like him. He's so physical. Boom. All right, here's another one here. All right, so we get on this one. So this is interesting, right? Because you're getting like a counter with like the motion,
Yeah.
right?
Why counter?
Yeah. I'm saying, and then what I like about this one is the patience again. So when he doesn't freelance, you can see the patience, right? He has great patience here. Lets the hole open up, then he can burst through. Like I said, he's hard to take down, so he's always moving forward. So I really like what he does in the run game here. Like, this is the type of runs you really like here. All right, so let's get to him in the passing game here. Now, this is what I'm talking about. You could just give him the ball, and he can make a play for you because he had a whole bunch of, let's say, passing yards against reception yards against Colorado. So you see it right here. I mean, this is three guys here, right? What is Devin Neal going to do here? What's going to happen? So first, he's going to give this guy a dead leg, go inside, and then he's going to break that tackle. Boom. And then Shiloh Sanders commits too much, so he runs into these two guys, and then there he goes. He's off to the races. Touchdown. So as I'm saying, this is what reminds me of Josh Jacobs because this is stuff Josh Jacobs does. Just a little bit faster, in my opinion. But even the profile, they're kind of the same size. I think Josh Jacobs is like 5'10", 220. I bet his 10-yard split though is gonna be like a 1.50, something crazy like that. So like I said, another just get him the ball in space here. Kind of sticks concept type of thing. Get him the ball in space. Right there, catch the ball. And you're thinking, this guy maybe has the angle to tackle him, but he just erases that angle, gets upfield. It takes 2 or 3 guys to take him down in open field. So these are some of the things he could do in the pass game. It's like I said, they didn't really give him the ball too much, but a lot of things you like about it. So right here, like I said, just kind of breaking that angle there, and then it's gonna take 3 or 4 guys to take him down. And then here is a little bit of him route running a little bit. So on this one, he's running a choice route here, and he's going up against 41. You kind of see him freeze 41 there. Get a good route. He's open there. Of course, the ball doesn't go to him, but this is what he was doing at the Senior Bowl all week. Is exactly this. Set him up. Right, he's open right there. The ball doesn't go there. I just want to. I like Jalen Daniels a lot. I really like him. Besides, that's just a side note, but I do.
2026 draft, getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. He makes some throws, man. So let's talk about him as a blocker too. So here's Neal right here. So I like about this one, he does a great job of picking up blitzes. So kind of get a blitz outside. He understands his assignment. Kind of get like a little stun here. Kind of set it up. The defense end coming inside. You see him kind of make this block here. What does 92 do? Why don't he just keep going? Anyways, that's nothing to do with anything. But it's a good block right there. So that's what you want to see from your running back here. And this is another one I really like. him picking up this blitz, him recognizing you got these two guys blitzing right here. He does a good job recognizing it, knowing what his assignment is. So that, because basically they're doing another stunt with it, right? So he's gonna kind of come at this angle here, bring 61 in, and then he's supposed to come around and have a free lane. But Devin Neal comes right into that lane. So I mean, you figure that's easy, and that's just something that people do. But sometimes running backs they get confused and maybe feel like he's supposed to block this guy or whatever. But he does a good job of setting up and giving Daniels plenty of time to get that ball off. So it's a good pickup right there.
Good communication.
Yeah, and then and like I said, it isn't perfect as a blocker as a running back, because sometimes he can get a little hesitant where he's just like allows the guy to come to him. So you see on this one, does a good job. Like he knows his assignment, he's at the right spot, but he kind of just doesn't really like engage. He kind of just waits for him to kind of get there, gets a little bit on his heels, in my opinion, and then he just kind of goes right around him, and that ends up being a hold. Look at that throw. You see that throw, man? Back shoulder.
I feel like on this one too, like he kind of got caught between, like he's like, if you're gonna be aggressive, either be aggressive and like cut that guy or put your feet in the ground. Like you can't see him right now. He's like on one leg when he makes contact. Like if you're gonna be passive, then stick your feet in the ground and have a stronger base about you. You know what I mean? Instead of kind of being caught in between.
And you kind of see the same thing here too. So he's supposed to be the lead here on this quarterback draw here, right? So 19's backing up. He maybe he thought he was gonna block 19, and 19 starts backing up here. But then he has supposed to block 10, but then he like kind of just like hesitates instead of just going to block him. And this is a running play, right? So you just want to come right at him, take that block at him. But yeah, so yeah, that's Devin Neal. I thought he has some good film. You know what I'm saying? Low key, great film. Maybe it depends how you want to look at it. But I think there's a lot to like at 5'10", 220 pounds, right? I mean, that's what he's listed at. I mean, that is a listing. That is not like what's on the college teams. Just put up there. That is his weight, and just to be able to make guys miss in open field. If something's wrong, that he can fix it. And that's the type of running back you want to take in the third round, second round type of thing. Is those running backs that are explosive, and you don't have to have the greatest offensive line in the world. There's some running backs you have to have a great offensive line or it's not going to work. And I think with Devin Neal, you don't have to worry about that as much. And then I think there's untapped potential as a pass catcher. So there's a lot of things to like about Devin Neal, and that's why I'm pretty high on him.
Yeah, and I looked it up. I just looked it up the numbers wise, and like body type wise. Jacobs was 5'10", 220 when he came out, and Neal's 5'10", 3/4 and 220 as well at the Senior Bowl. So yeah, not a bad comp, especially with what you were showing with them, like making guys miss in the backfield. That was what stood out to me the most, is like the way he's able to move in the phone booth. If he's like a little bit of the scouting and the football lingo there, like he can make you miss in the phone booth and then operate in those tight spaces to like be able to take advantage of it. So definitely looks like at the very least a good zone back. Would like to see him be a little more disciplined on the gap concepts, but yeah, he can definitely fit in those zone schemes. So he's a good player.
Yeah. Shiloh Sanders definitely knows who Devin Neal is. That's what I do.
He still has nightmares.
I think so, man.
Of him coming through the hole.
Man, rough day for Shiloh. There. All right. So yeah, that's Devin Neal. Let's get to some Dillion Gabriel, man.
All right, we're going to start off with a few anticipation throws. Like I said, this one probably Gabriel's biggest strengths. Like, see him even handle the big bad snap there. Now, on this one, I would like to see him avoid, like you're going to see a little double clutch from him right here. But what I do like about this is like the timing on the throw. What they're trying to do is basically in this little cover 3 look from Ohio State, they're trying to hit this window right in here. And what I do like about it is he throws it perfectly on time, and we'll see it from the end zone view. Like he splits these two defenders almost dead even. And again, this kind of goes to him being a 6-year senior. Like you see that right there, perfectly between number 0 and number 7 here, and just being able to take advantage of the window. And again, I think that's part of him being a 6-year guy that's just been around for so long. Again, this is third and long and in a goal line situation, so Ohio State's giving this up. But what I like about this throw too is like the first thing you notice is we've got plenty of cushion with this corner playing almost 15 yards off the ball, and we're going to get a little out route. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this right when Gabriel lets it go, and we'll take a look at where the receiver's at. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Like, the guy is not even out of his break, not even turning at this point, and he's already letting it go. And that's big too, because if you still notice here, like 97 here, it looks like he's getting some pressure. He's able to get it out, get it into a potential situation where we could maybe go for it on 4th and 10, or at the very least, setting up a shorter field goal. See here from the end zone again, like you can see, like you didn't have much room to get this off. And when we're talking about too, when you don't have a great arm, if you can throw it on time, you can make up for it a little bit.
Yeah, that was nice.
You throw it early. What we got here. This is another one too. Again, pocket breaking down. They have a longer developing pass play here. We're going to see this little trips bunch set where they're going to switch release it. So he's got to buy a little bit more time. You can see the pocket starts breaking down, get some edge pressure, steps up, and then stays in there. But what I want to do, again, we'll pause it right now. Again, look at 7 here. He's just starting to make his break. And the reason why that's big is watch this corner right here. And what is this we got? What coverage we got here? Looks like another cover 4, cover 6 maybe. But again, like he ends able to split these 2 defenders because he just throws it perfectly on time. And able to beat the coverage. And on top of it too, and pressure. Now that is a little bit, again, arm strength issues. You can see that a little bit on these throws where receiver has to dive for it. But what I will say is, as we can see from the end zone view, this is not exactly a clean pocket to throw from.
Yeah.
And still, same thing. Just puts it perfectly on time, be able to beat the defense and beat the coverage. Same thing on this one. Get a little dig route here from Ferguson, who's a pretty good tight end, operating out of the slot. Same thing. Like right now, hits it. The ball's already out. I mean, Ferguson's just starting to make his break, able to beat the coverage, able to beat this extra safety here at the top, so he can't make a play on it. And on top of it, too, Ferguson's pretty good after the catch.
Yeah.
Just anticipation, beat a lot of coverages without having a great arm, which is pretty impressive. Be able to overcome it. Moving on a little bit to him reading the field. This is one of the plays I was talking about. Like we're going to see some late safety rotation where this guy's going to go all the way over to like the O here to the middle of the field for a cover 3 look. Like Ohio State's pretty much showing like almost like a cover 0 or a cover 4, but then they rotate the picture, and Gabriel just kind of stays calm in the pocket and able to beat this safety with the throw right here with great anticipation, just reading the field, like stays calm and able to make the throw. Now, again, this is a little bit where I'm talking about where you watch the throw, like compare it to like when we were watching Jalen Milroe, where Milroe, his ball had barely any arc, right? It would just be kind of like on a straight line and hit somebody with a lot of velocity. Whereas like you can see like Gabriel doesn't have the greatest arm, so he's kind of got to lop it a little bit and put some air on it. So 7 here has to jump, and he ends up taking a big hit. Like to see him avoid that. But again, as far as the read goes, it's a great read to beat the coverage.
Yeah, I mean, that is a great read, but when I was watching that, you could tell the arm strength is a little bit of the issue because that's why that safety was able to pop him.
Exactly, yeah. Nice job by 7. Is that Tez or is that Stewart? I can't remember which one was which. I think it might have been Tez. What?
No, I think the Tez is that Tez?
Is it Tez or Stewart? I got those 2 mixed up all year, and I'm an Oregon fan. That's bad. But either way, nice catch by him again, and a great read from. Now this one, I'm gonna say break down a little bit and explain it because this was a hell of a read. Because what I want you to do, is watch this guy right here. What he's gonna do is he's gonna first start to work towards the flat, and then he's gonna drop into coverage. And what he's trying to do is get Dylan Gabriel to come off the flat at first, and then Penn State is going to try and bait Gabriel into throwing this little post or this post route over the middle. What if you watch too? If you watch this defender, like he's going to start dropping to go take away this post route. So what they're trying to do is influence Gabriel to throw to the post here. But what he does is once he sees this guy start to drop after working wide, he just takes the flat route. It's our tight end here, and then tight end makes a hell of a play to hurdle the safety for a touchdown. So again, that's what I'm talking about. Where like the picture is changing post snap, right? We got a backside defender, or someone from the strong side of the formation dropping to take away the post or help take away the post, and we got a little bit of a bait here by the by our flat to defender that ends up dropping. But he just reads it, sees it, makes the right read, and we end up getting 6 instead of potentially throwing a pick or falling into the trap that the defense laid out for us. And then, of course, too, hell of a play by the tight end. Let your playmaker make a play. Let him make you look good sometimes.
Yeah.
This one going to be a little bit more timing. What I like, too, is, like, again, you'll see this, like, he wants to go to this 1-on-1 to 7 here. Again, I believe that's Tez, who he wants to hit on the 1-on-1, which is his guy. But we get the defensive end dropping off into coverage, into making that a double coverage. So he comes off of it, comes back, hits Ferguson. It's good timing, and able to beat the safety here to get a score.
Yeah, that's a good job reading that for quick.
Yeah. So I'm saying, like, you can tell he's been doing this for a while. Third offense he's had to learn to. Gets the ball out.
Yeah, that's real nice.
Moving on a little bit to the accuracy. This is what I was talking about too with this deep ball. I've seen an even better example of it. Where, like, if you just watch him, just to kind of highlight the arm strength, like, he's getting all he can into that. I mean, back leg swinging forward and on the throw. What he does do is he does a great job of anticipating that his guy's going to win. Like right now, he's letting it go. I mean, at this point, like, that's decent coverage, but he knows that guy's going to win, and then he can drop it in the bucket when he does throw it deep.
Yeah, that's a great throw.
Yeah, but
he did put all into that.
Yeah, we can see it on this one too.
Put his whole life. This was the 2 steps up.
Yeah, this is the baseball, like the center field crow hop, right? When you're trying to throw a guy out of the plate, getting everything you can into it.
Yeah.
I was looking for him to janitor roll too on the end of it. This one I really like too because it's off of play action, and he realizes too, like, it's not even actually might even be an RPO. No, it's just regular play action actually. Yeah. But, like, you can see, like, he's gonna rip it into this little window. Like, he sees the defensive end drop again. He knows right now if I rip it and I put it right where this the 1 is, the G, excuse me, I can give my guy a chance to make somebody miss in the open field. See it even better view here from the end zone, right where he puts that ball. I mean, that's perfect. You can see it's a little lost, but right there, so he catches it in stride, make the safety miss, and we end up tacking up some extra yards after the catch. I believe this one's going to be the same kind of throw. Yeah, same thing, another little slant route. Just hit it on time. Let's see. When does he let this go? Right after the break. Perfectly hit him in the chest. Again, same kind of thing.
Nice.
That's huge when you're talking about, you know, throwing for accuracy to lead your receiver to be able to tack on some extra yards after the catch. The fact he doesn't have to slow down and he can just catch it in stride. Perfect. 5-yard pass turns into a 20-yard gain. Yeah, a little too fast. You can see the ball right there. Boom. Catch it. Make somebody miss. Go pick up some extra yards.
That's Ted Johnson. Yeah, I thought Ted Johnson was 15. That's him.
Okay, gotcha. So that was Stewart then. My fault. As an Oregon fan, I'm ashamed. This time we're going to see him, again, deal with a little bit more pressure. That's another good part of his game is he doesn't really panic quite that much in the pocket. Like, he takes a big hit here and able to hit Ferguson. Again, great anticipation. Let it go right as Ferguson's making his break, and hits Ferguson right in the numbers again, so Ferguson can turn up the field. And even better, does it with some pressure while taking a hit.
Yes. If this guy had a big arm, he was taller.
Yeah, for real. He wouldn't have been at Oregon. He would have.
Yeah, he'd already been out the draft.
Oklahoma wouldn't have shifted him away.
He already been in the draft, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
2 years ago. All right.
So it's going to be similar to that earlier clip that I showed on the same deep ball. Again, like, I'll pause it when he lets it go. Like, he's anticipating this, so that's how he's able to overcome this. Because, I mean, this at this point is a good coverage, but he just trusts that his guy's going to win. And you can even see the receiver here has to slow down a little bit to catch it. But as far as the ball placement goes, I mean, that's perfect. Drops it right in the bucket.
It's a great throw.
See here on the follow through. Yeah, just about everything he could. Getting into him in the running game. Little design run, little read option here. And what I like about this one too is, like, you can see him kind of set up these blocks, like, and set up this run perfectly. Like, first of all, makes a great read and sees the safety coming downhill hard. So he's going to keep working laterally, ends up making him miss. And then he realizes, hey, my blocker's got leverage on the inside, cut it back inside, make that guy miss, and we end up putting up 6. So especially with Chip Kelly, these kind of things would be huge, especially in the running game, because as we saw last time, the quarterback is a big part of Chip Kelly's rushing attack. And one thing that I like about him, as far as like when he scrambles and stuff, like you can see it a little bit here, like he does keep his eyes up and tries to look for a throw. Like he had a few handful of times where he kept his eyes up and still made throws while he was scrambling. Now this one, I will say, probably could have hit 7 here. But what I like too is like if you watch what happens to, I can't tell what number that is, but watch this defender right here. Because Dillon Gabriel keeps his eyes up, that gets this guy to drop. And now we have just nothing but green grass or turf in front of us to go pick up the first down on 3rd and long. So again, a little bit more of the veteran savviness where like he's not just gonna one of those guys that's gonna drop his eyes and as soon as pressure comes in and take off. Like he will keep his eyes up, try and look for the throw, and then he's athletic enough when the defense drops to be able to make plays with his legs. Now this one, it's just a pretty simple run, like a little simple QB lead outside zone. It looks like here. But what I also liked about this is 3rd and 1 with the game on the line, where Oregon was up with 1 possession and just need to run out the clock. And what you see is he's going to do a great job of reading 55's block here, and then just find the lane and show some vision, and then go pick up the first down and put the game on ice. Go win the Big Ten championship. Similar to what we saw with Chip Kelly too, where they start with the 2 tight ends in the boundary, motion one over. So kind of a good concept that should transfer over if it comes to it. Let's pick up the first down. So again, don't know how much his arm's going to impact him in the NFL. I think that's part of the reason why you're not getting a ton of buzz with Dillon Gabriel, and why some people view him as a little bit more of a backup. But as far as like doing the other things that you like from your quarterback, throwing with anticipation, being accurate, reading coverage, making good decisions with the football, like he does all of that. It's just a matter of can he overcome his physical limitations. But there's a lot of tape to like on him, that's for sure. There's also a lot of tape on him because he is, like I said, a 6-year starter. You don't see many of those in college.
You get a full evaluation of Dillon Gabriel. Yeah, because I mean, some of those plays were impressive, man. I was impressed. I liked his pocket movement and his poise in the pocket. That's a big thing in the NFL. You know, people, try to push that to the side, but that is one of the biggest things in the NFL is poise in the pocket, and he has that. And so he definitely feels like a guy that if you draft him and you want to develop him, I don't know if develop is the right word, but I mean, if he's a backup and then you have to play him, I feel like that he might play better than you think. And then but just the limitations of it, kind of like how Brock Purdy is. Like Brock Purdy, his film was like when you watched him on film at Iowa State, it was like, yeah, that could work, but like, man, your arm isn't the greatest and you're a little shorter, right? And he got with the right system and the right guy, and he's working it because Brock Purdy did those things like natural dissipation, all those things. But at a point, there's some times where he just can't make the throw that you want him to make, right? He can't make that throw. He can't do that, right? He can't make those type of plays. So, so to me, just watching that, that's how I felt like I was watching Brock Purdy at Iowa State. So it just depends on how it works out for him. But there's going to be times where he just can't do something that you really need him to do, and NFL teams are going to adjust to it, and that's how it's going to work for him. But I was impressed. I like that.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. Brock Purdy probably one of my comps, and actually one of the spots that I think Dillon Gabriel could do one of the best is going to San Francisco. And if they don't want, like, they're getting in a snag with Brock Purdy's contract, like I think that could be a good landing spot for him. Because you're right, I do think he'd be really good in like that Shanahan type system. And then as far as like it goes with the Raiders, the only question I have is would they trust him enough to be able to run like the deeper concepts and whatnot. But he can throw with anticipation and keep showing what he did at Oregon this past year. Like that's pretty huge. And I think it kind of like doesn't get quite as like talked about, but the fact he was throwing with anticipation and trusting those guys to win when he'd only worked with them for a year, I think that speaks volumes to how he is as a processor, because he goes to a rookie, he goes to the NFL and goes to a situation as a rookie. Like it's going to be the same thing where he only has a one off season to work with guys and kind of build that trust, and he already showed that he can develop that quickly. So
yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I like too. Is just the anticipation working with those guys, and that kind of shows us it might be a little bit natural for him. And I like when quarterbacks know their limitations,
yeah,
and and obviously he understands that, and he needs to make up for it. So that's why he can have a use that when you get to the NFL. If you understand that, and it's just a natural anticipation thing, it can make it work. So.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
All right, guys. So that is our episode for today. We did a Devin Neal and did a Gabriel. Of course, we keep doing more draft guys as we go along here and deep diving into all the draft players we're looking at. So the thing is with the draft, these things could last all the way till August. I mean, these are videos. You guys could go through these videos, and I like it. You don't have to relive week 3 of that Raiders loss. Right. These videos are up there. So check out our draft videos. I forgot who we done before. We kind of went over it a little bit, but we've done a lot of guys, Jackson Dart, Jalen Monroe, all those guys. So check out those breakdowns. Those breakdowns are up there for you. If you're like, what do you guys think of Jalen Monroe? What do you think of Jackson Dart? It's up on the video. So go ahead and check that out. And hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. And we are out of here. Peace.
Peace.